How Judy's Law and the story of Judy Malinowski continue to help domestic abuse survivors.
Taking good care of you. You're in the hospital, okay? We have some burns.
Judy was burned over 90% of her body. She had open wounds all over her body that never healed. She lost appendages. She did not look the same.
Producer and director of the upcoming documentary, The Fire That Took Her, Patricia Gillespie, worked with Malinowski's family to tell her story.
I came to Judy's story because I needed it. I am also a domestic violence survivor. Her story gave me a lot of hope and a lot of self-forgiveness. You don't have to be a perfect victim. As a survivor, I needed to hear that from Judy in the way that she said it.
Happy birthday, dear Judy. Happy birthday to you.
Judy Malinowski was a domestic violence victim who was set on fire by her partner at the time, a man named Michael Slager.
Malinowski was a mother of two living in Ohio. Before meeting Slager, she had a history of opioid abuse, which reportedly started after she was prescribed painkillers during cancer treatment. Although Malinowski struggled with her addiction, she was said to be doing well before they became a couple. According to her family, Slager was giving Malinowski drugs throughout their abusive relationship, even as she called the police multiple times for help.
When police wouldn't listen to her and detectives wouldn't listen to her, Judy knew the only way to save her life from Michael, not the drugs, was to find a rehab.
The most dangerous time for any woman in an abusive relationship is when she leaves. And I think that is why this particularly tragic timing, when she was on the upswing and really getting ready to become the person that she wanted to be, I think that's why that happened then, because it was a threat to her abuser. He was going to lose control.
Malinowski would live for nearly 2 years after the attack.
I think the fact that she survived for as long as she did is a testament to love she had for her daughters and the mission that she felt she had to complete here.
Before she died, Malinowski left something behind that would be used as evidence in the case against Slager.
Judy filmed a deposition from her hospital bed to be used in the eventual trial for her murder. And that was the first time that had ever been done. It set legal precedent in the state of Ohio.
She wanted to tell her story. I think she wanted somebody to finally listen to her.
After I was set on fire, that's when his eyes just turned black as I screamed for his help. He did nothing.
She endured over 3 hours of questioning, both from the prosecution and the defense, who, as is their job, dug very deeply into her past and things she might have done that would turn public opinion against her. And she endured all of that and spoke very bravely. And ultimately, it was a big piece of the puzzle when it came to seeking justice in this case. I think it was the piece.
Slager was eventually charged with aggravated murder and sentenced to life in prison. Before Malinowski died, she also helped lawmakers in their efforts to impose longer prison sentences on attackers who intentionally disfigure their victims by using accelerants to set them on fire.
House Bill 63 should be passed because it's destroyed my life, my family's life, my kids' life.
When Judy was first attacked and had initially survived, the maximum sentence Michael could receive for dousing her in gasoline and lighting her on fire was 11 years, which is very similar to the penalty you would receive for lighting a car on fire, which was obviously not acceptable. So she worked with Senator Hughes to draft and campaign for this law that would change that, that would see people who do things like Michael Slager did have more time in prison.
The bill passed in May 2017, just a month before Malinowski's death.
Judy's foundation is working on, some ways that they can bring that out federally as well in the future. I hope that when women hear her story, they feel empowered to leave, no matter the circumstances, no matter what they might have done, no matter whether they feel the guilt that so many abuse victims feel while they're trapped in the relationship. The question I hope Judy's story inspires is, what are we going to do? What are we going to ask our political representatives to do to make sure that guys like Michael, who have repeat offenses on their records, saying that they abused or tortured women repeatedly and were let go repeatedly, don't escalate to this point where they're quite literally setting someone on fire? What are we going to do about that?
The Fire That Took Her premieres in theaters October 21st. For more information on the family's work, visit judysfoundation.org.